What's going on, everyone? So welcome to my latest video. This is obviously part of my series where I focus on Academy Award Best Picture nominees from a certain year. If you haven't seen my previous video, I actually ranked the 2000 Best Picture nominees, so you guys can check out that video down below. But guys, you clicked on this video, so you know it. This time around, I am focusing on the 2001 Academy Award Best Picture nominees and ranking them from worst to best. Now, this is yet another year where there were 5 Best Picture nominees, so I will be ranking it from 5 being the worst to 1 being the best, and of course, my humble opinion. And I will be looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on your ranking for said films down below. But guys, enough exposition. Let's get started. So kicking things off, number 5, we have the Gosford Park, which I respect the fact that it influenced Downton Abbey. That being said, I am not a fan of this movie. I found it to be quite dull. It was a chore to get through. Truly, it was a chore to get through. I didn't really like this movie. I respect it because the filmmaking itself, like the costume design, the makeup, it's all really good. I just found a very, very difficult time being engaged by this movie. I just didn't really find the characters to be that interesting. The story itself was the mystery, Again, I understand and I can respect why some people might really feel attached to this movie. And again, I do respect it to some extent for inspiring a show that many people love. But for me, just wasn't a big fan of Gosford Park, and I was quite disappointed. And that's why it's my number 5. Next up, my number 4, we have Moulin Rouge. I really like Moulin Rouge. I by no means think it's a perfect movie. In fact, it is quite flawed, but I really like it. That's why I own it on Blu-ray. Like, I think that Nicole Kidman does such a great job in the lead. Well, I guess it would be a supporting role, but holy cow, she's great. Ewan McGregor's great. Them together, even better. The ADHD style editing is something that I found to be really intriguing. How the first half, it's like, very rapid fire. And then the second half, the editing style is, more in tune to let things breathe and everything. It's really also to showcase the different tonal shift that went from the first half to the second half. And I think that Baz Luhrmann does that in other films, but I think that, for me, Moulin Rouge, he perfected it. And I think that every other movie that he's done that has tried that just has been kind of a lesser version of what he did in Moulin Rouge. So I quite like Moulin Rouge. By no means is it a perfect movie, but very enjoyable. And I obviously like it a lot, and that's why it is my number 4. Now, I said like it a lot, but I know some of you are like, wait a minute, he has it as number 4. But that's only because I liked 3 other movies better in terms of the Best Picture nominees. So my number 3 is In the Bedroom, which is a Todd Fields film, the same director that gave us Little Children and recently Tar. The only reason why I don't have a physical copy of In the Bedroom is because they don't have it on Blu-ray yet. And I know what some of you are thinking. Chad, you have Little Children on DVD. That is true. That is true. And I guess I don't really have an excuse for that other than when I bought the movie Little Children, it was because I was like, well, I don't know if it's ever going to get a Blu-ray release. Versus In the Bedroom, I feel like because it's a bit more popular than Little Children, I feel like there's more likely a chance of it getting a Blu-ray release. And you best believe that if it does get a Blu-ray release, I'm going to buy it because In the Bedroom is quite good. I still have ingrained in my head that ending. And not only the ending, but I just think the story itself is so good and it's so well directed. And the performances, holy cow. Tom Wilkinson in particular just does such a great job. Big fan of In the Bedroom. I think that it is a film that if you haven't done so already, would highly recommend you check it out because it's compelling, man. It's compelling. And the ending works really well. But yeah, that's my number 3. Next up, my number 2. This is the one that won Best Picture in 2001, and my number 2 is A Beautiful Mind. So A Beautiful Mind, it goes like this. Similar to how I mentioned about my 2000 Best Picture nominees, how Aaron Brockovich I felt like was a fresh perspective on the biopic genre. Beautiful Mind is very fresh, but it is also a film that I have to say, I really like it. But I also think that I really liked it because this was one of the first biopics that I saw. And so to have it where there's a twist in a biopic, it was just something I didn't really think was possible in a biopic movie. So just kind of seeing that at such a young age and seeing how well done it was, I don't know, I really took to it. And I can admit that this is a film that does have some issues for sure, especially if you want to look at the real life, individual, John Nash, and how there's a lot of things that they kind of cut and everything, kind of sanitize. I will definitely agree with that. But in terms of pure entertainment value and pure filmmaking, it is definitely one of Ron Howard's best films. It is, for me at least. And I really liked it. I think that it is a strong screenplay in terms of getting from point A to B and making it very investing. I just, throughout this film, found myself really, really invested by Russell Crowe's performance, but also the writing of his character. And on top of that, James Horner's score is just so good. Jennifer Connelly's in this as well. She gives a great supporting performances. It goes like this. Yes, similar to Moulin Rouge, I admit that it does have its issues, but I can't help but say I really like Your Beautiful Mind. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people that aren't as big of a fan, but I quite like Your Beautiful Mind. That's why I don't own Blu-ray. But yeah, guys, that's my number 2. And I just want to get this out of the way. Beautiful Mind by no means should have won Best Picture, though, because there was a film that was better than it. And that goes to my number 1, which is Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Yeah, I know that probably the Academy didn't want to give it Best Picture because it was the first entry, and they knew that there were going to be 2 other entries, but my goodness, talk about a film. Fellowship of the Ring is incredible. I love it. It is a masterpiece in my eyes. Everything works about it. It does a great job of combining fantasy with action adventure, and on top of that, it is also just a film that showcases that you can have it where people know that there's going to be a trilogy, like there are going to be other movies, but you can still stand on its own. Like if, God forbid, if there wasn't a second and third, like let's say the first one didn't do well at the box office, you could still watch Fellowship of the Ring and say, wow, that was quite satisfying. Like that ending and that speech that Sam gives, it is so good. Each film in this franchise does such a great job of feeling very self-contained whilst at the same time still moving forward the plot. And I think that that's something that more sequels should have done, but unfortunately a lot don't. They just feel like set up for other movies. But not the case with Lord of the Rings. Fellowship of the Ring, it's a great film, and yeah, it's why it's my number 1 in terms of the nominees. Now, that being said, I can't lie. The fact that Mulholland Drive didn't get a Best Picture nomination, kind of sad, but it is what it is. But guys, those are my ranking for the Best Picture nominees from the year 2001. Let me know your ranking of said films that were nominated for Best Picture in 2001 down below. And guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget the subscription, notification bell, follow me down on Letterboxd, and I will get you guys later.